Ooh. Oh man, it was. Damn it. Like, I have to drink 5 booze. Like, what? At least I got 3 in because. Tip it this way. Okay. The radar's being. This camera is being stupid. Oh. Oh, shit. Let's see if I can find some no copyright music for you guys. Because I really hate my uncle right now.
even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird.
All this love with me and Dad made a sound. And all this love with me and Dad made a sound. And all this love with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup,
All this love with me and Dad made a sound.
Doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird.
All this love with me and Dad made a sound. And all this love with me and Dad made a sound. And all this
even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird.
All this love me and dad made a sound. And all this love me and dad made a sound. And all this love me and dad made a sound.
Turn my gun. Dynamite.
And dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun. Dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
No chorus. So weird.
All this love me and dad made a sound. And all this love me and dad made a sound. And all this love me and dad made a sound.
Turn my gun. Dynamite.
And dad made a sound. Might
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird. Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird.
All this with me and Dad made a sound and all this with me and Dad made a sound and all this with me and Dad you sign up.
Turn my gun,
All this with me and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my gun, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rush, weird.
All this with me and Dad made a sound and all this with me and Dad made a sound and all this with me and Dad you sign up.
Turn my gun,
All this with me and Dad made a sound. Dad made a sound and Dad made a sound and my end of the and my end of the and Dad made a sound and Dad made a sound and all the misses and of the and my end of the sound and
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody, don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Out of those. Don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Out of those. Don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Out of those. Don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird.
All the love with me and dad made a sound. And all the love with me and dad made a sound. And all the love with me and dad made a sound.
Turn my cup,
All the love with me and dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody, don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Out of those. Don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Out of those. Don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Out of those. Don't.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird.
All the love with me and dad made a sound. And all the love with me and dad made a sound. And all the love with me and
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Try my cup.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound. Wow.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Those out of those. Everybody else.
Would you sign off?
Try my cup. Those out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Try my cup.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound. Wow.
Come down. So, here in Lindenwold, we're getting damaged out of the get-go. So if you're a Lindenwold person, comment down below, because we heard a big kaboom. I don't know. We're trying to make sure our neighbors is okay or not, because it was loud and it was like a kaboom when the wind gust came through. So if you're a Lindenwold person or a Cincinnati, Hamilton person, please comment down below. I mean, this is serious. don't be a fool and don't say anything. If you're a Cincinnati, Hamilton person, Ohio person, Lindenwold person, please comment down below and make sure everybody's okay, because it sounded like a car accident or a tree branch came down. So please comment down below. This is serious. Stay tuned and back to your music.
Doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird. Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird. Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird. Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird.
All this love in me and Dad made a sound and all this love in me and Dad made a sound and all this love in me and Daddy sign up.
Turn my cup out of my
All this love in me and Dad made a sound.
Do I need to call 911? Please tell me. Okay. Well, just keep an eye out because
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird. Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird. Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird. Bring it back out of my out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup out of my out of those.
Let me in.
That's so rough, so weird.
All this love in me and Dad made a sound and all this love in me and Dad made a sound. All this love in me and Daddy sign up.
Turn my cup out of my
All this love in me and Dad made a sound.
hi, yes. I'm sorry, yes.
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird.
All was good with me and Dad made a sound and all was good with me and Dad made a sound and all was good with me and Dad you sign up.
Turn my cup. Out of my.
All was good with me and Dad made a sound.
Oh my god, I'm about to pass out.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird.
All was good with me and Dad made a sound and all was good with me and Dad made a sound and all was good with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup. Out of my.
All was good with me and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird.
All this with me and Dad made a sound. And all this with me and Dad made a sound. And all this with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup.
With me and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird. Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus. The weird.
All this with me and Dad made a sound. And all this with me and Dad made a sound.
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird.
All this love in me and dad made a sound. And all this love in me and dad made a sound. And all this love in me and dad made a sound.
Turn my cup, dynamite.
Love in me and dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
That's a rust, a weird.
All this love in me and dad made a sound. And all this love in me and dad made a sound. And all this love in me and dad made a sound.
Turn my cup, dynamite.
And dad made a sound.
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird.
All the love in me and Dad made a sound and all the love in me and Dad made a sound and all the love in me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup, dynamite.
Dad made a sound. Dad made a sound and chop and Dad made a sound and mine and prefer and mine and chop and Dad made a sound and chop and Dad made a sound and all the voices and prefer and mine and
Everybody up. Everybody up. Everybody up. Get off of his
All the love in me and Dad made a sound and all the love in me and Dad made a sound and all the voices and prefer and mine and oh Dad made a sound and oh Dad made a sound and mine and prefer and mine and
That doesn't even rhyme.
yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Out of those. Everybody up. Don't
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, dynamite. Out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, no weird.
All the love in me and Dad made a sound and all the love in me and Dad made a sound and all the love in me and
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird.
All this love with me and Dad made a sound and all this love with me and Dad made a sound and all this love with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup,
All this love with me and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird. Out of those.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
So weird.
All this love with me and Dad made a sound and all this love with me and Dad made a sound and all this love with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup,
All this love
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of my. Gotta vote. Everybody.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Gotta vote.
Cut me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Gotta vote. Everybody.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Gotta vote.
Cut me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Gotta vote. Everybody.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Gotta vote.
Cut me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Gotta vote.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Gotta vote.
Cut me in.
No chorus. So weird.
All the soul in me and dad made a sound and all the soul in me and dad made a sound and all the soul in me and dad made a sound.
Turn my cup. Out of my.
All the soul in me and dad made a sound. Wow.
Alrighty, guys. So, just a heads up. How should I say this? I can't remember what I was gonna say, so you guys can keep going with the music.
Doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Cut me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. Out of those. Everybody.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of my. Out of those.
Cut me in.
No chorus. So weird. Bring it back. Out of my. doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird.
And all the love in me. And Dad made a sound. And all the love in me. And Dad made a sound. And all the love in me. And Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup to the mic.
All the love in me. And Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Gotta load. Everybody go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup to the mic. Gotta load.
Let me in.
Go Russ, a weird.
And all the love in me. And Dad made a sound. And all the love in me. And Dad made a sound. And all the love in me.
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Soul in me and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, go out of those. Everybody, go.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, go out of those.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup, go
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Everybody, doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird.
And all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound. And all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound. And all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup.
All the stuff with me and Dad made a sound.
Doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird. Out of those.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust. Go weird.
And all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound. And all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound. And all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup.
All the stuff with me and Dad made a sound. does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird.
And all the soul in me and dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and dad made a sound.
Turn my cup,
And dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign up?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Go rust, weird.
All the soul in me and dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and dad made a sound.
Turn my cup,
And dad made a sound.
everybody, doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird.
All was over me and Dad made a sound and all was over me and Dad made a sound and all was over me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Me and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Go, gotta go. Everybody up, go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Go, gotta go.
Let me in.
Let's go, Russ. Go weird.
All was over me and Dad made a sound and all was over me and Dad made a sound and all was over me and Dad made a sound.
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird.
All this love me and dad made a sound and all this love me and dad made a sound and all this love me and dad made a sound.
Turn my cup,
All this love me and dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
Chorus, weird.
All this love me and dad made a sound and all this love me and dad made a sound. All this love me and dad you sign off.
Turn my cup,
All this love me and dad made a sound.
For real? Oh man, it's mid-lane.
Sound
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird.
All the slow with me and dad made a sound and all the slow with me and dad made a sound and all the slow with me and dad you sign off.
Turn the mic up, dynamite.
And dad made a sound.
Dorian looks like a 6. Uh-oh.
And dad made a sound and dad made a sound and my and my and dad made a sound and dad made a sound and all the misses and my and
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta go. Everybody go.
Would you sign off?
Turn the mic up, dynamite. Gotta go.
Let me in.
Go Russ, go weird.
And all the slow with me and dad made a sound and all the slow with me and dad made a sound and all the slow with me and dad you sign off.
Turn the mic up, dynamite.
The slow with me and dad made a sound. Wow. And dad made a sound and dad made a sound and my and my and dad made a sound and dad made a sound and all the misses and my and
Everybody doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird.
And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird. Bring it back. Out of those. Everybody up.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup. Out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust. So weird.
And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound. And all the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup.
All the soul in me and Dad made a sound.
Everybody doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird.
And all the soul with me. And dad made a sound. And all the soul with me. And dad made a sound.
Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Dad, you sign off.
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those. Never rust a weird. That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird. Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Would you sign off?
Turn my cup to the mic. Look out of those.
Let me in.
Never rust a weird.
And all the soul with me. And dad made a sound. And all the soul with me. And dad made a sound.
Bring it back to the mic. Look out of those. Everybody up. Go.
Dad, you sign off.
doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird.
Dad made a sound. Dad made a sound. Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird. Bring it back, out of those. Everybody,
Would you sign off?
turn my cup, out of those.
Let me in.
The chorus, so weird.
Dad made a sound. Dad made a sound.
even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird.
All the stuff with me and Dad made a sound and all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound and all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound
Turn my cup, dynamite.
and Dad made a sound.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Yeah, it does.
Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird. Bring it back, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Would you sign up?
Turn my cup, dynamite. Gotta vote.
Let me in.
No chorus, so weird.
All the stuff with me and Dad made a sound and all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound and all the stuff with me and Dad made a sound.
Turn my cup, dynamite.
All the stuff with me and Dad made a sound.
If you're just now joining us, or just joined us a while ago, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, and like this video. Yeah, go figure, the winds calm down. Hmm. Whoa. Alright.
Hurricane Irma. One interesting fact that folks have got to know is that even though Jacksonville, during Hurricane Irma, wasn't even in the cone, you had the widespread flooding.
Hurricane Dorian, Cat 2, 110 miles per hour, people. Oh my god, people. Okay, we are gonna go to we are going to video now. Actually, no, I won't even do that. I'm gonna take you all with me. Be patient because we are gonna go live straight to Weather Channel. Look at this.
Listen over to Mike. Mike, a lot of folks here are very experienced, but I'll tell you, there are quite a few people in town that have moved here recently, so this is a brand new experience for them.
Indeed it is. An incredible view there from Reynolds this evening. Reynolds, thank you so much for that. We know that we have more eyewitness accounts coming in out of the Bahamas, and earlier today we spoke with Chris Roach. He's an Atlanta native who went to secure his family's villa in Treasure Key, but then he had to ride out the storm himself.
I rode out the storm in a friend's condo. It was a first floor of a two-story. It was a concrete structure. However, the roof on the second-story unit was blown off, and sometime right just after the I-beam trip, we started getting water in the ceiling, which told us that the roof had blown off. So fortunately, had good storm shutters, and basically rode out the storm with rainwater falling on us from the roof above, or from the ceiling above. So really, the only danger I had personally was sheetrock falling in from the water coming in. The best way to describe it is imagine installing a dozen shower heads throughout your home and turning them on, a quarter to halfway and leaving them going the entire time. It was shocking to me, though, how long the entire event lasted. I couldn't believe that. I've been through quite a few hurricanes, but the fact that we had hurricane force winds for well over 36 hours was just shocking to me.
Really, really incredible images that we're getting there, and the Abaco Islands, a nearly complete destruction of the infrastructure there. And so what they're trying to do now is get people off of there and to other areas like Nassau, which didn't take nearly the hit. As he was mentioning, though, it took approximately 40 hours in the eye of Hurricane Dorian. Winds range from 120 to 185 miles an hour. It was just this morning they finally saw the eye lift away from Grand Bahama Island. Stay with us for complete coverage of Hurricane Dorian with our crews in the field right after this.
Now's the time to find your color and everything to get started during.
We're gonna go out. Oh my God, did somebody go?
That's why we redesigned Humira. We wanted to make the experience better for you. Now there's less pain immediately following injection. We've reduced the size of the needle and removed the citrate buffers. And it has the same effectiveness you know and trust. Humira Citrate Free is here.
National Debt Relief now to speak to a certified debt relief specialist to see if you qualify for the Debt Reset program. There are no upfront costs, and you could resolve your debt for a fraction of what you owe.
Call 1-800-647-9812. 1-800-647-9812. 1-800-647-9812.
You're watching America's most trusted TV news network.
The Weather Channel's got you covered with Dorian. We are up and down the coast.
The Weather Channel.
to our south, but is moving to the north as the center of circulation. We've got wind coming from north to south, getting sandblasted at times, and also being treated to colors that are not of this world. Unbelievable. Offshore, you see the waves. They're coming in down high above, of course, the clouds. Below those clouds, heavy rainfall, possibly bringing anywhere from 3 to 5, perhaps even 6 inches of rainfall that could cause some flooding in the low-lying areas. Hence the reason for the evacuation, mandatory evacuation here on the beach side. The sand continues to come on through. We make our way a bit farther back towards the south. You see more of the spectacle, more of the colors. At times, the colors themselves show some just serenity, but then right below it, you see the darker, the heavy rainfall that's going to punish the coastline. If we can, let's also, Chris Erickson's the man behind the camera, let's go down just a bit and show our viewers the waves that are coming through. At one time, there were sets of 2, then sets of 3. Now it's all awash. Every now and again, right along the pier, you'll see one that'll come up and just really pound just the bottom of the pier itself. We're not even close to high tide. When high tide comes along later on this evening, right around the midnight hour, and coupled with the surge, would not be surprised in the slightest to see the water come up, perhaps over these posts that we see here, and then all the way up to the shoreline, possibly encroaching some of the properties that we have that decorate the shorelines here at Daytona Beach. Unbelievable system that's making its way through. It still has, again, a lot to contend with, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, even though it is weaker than it was when it was over parts of the Bahamas, this is still a tempest. This is still something you have to be very wary of. And remember, at the same time, you can have all kinds of issues that are outside the code itself. But remember, this thing is trucking north, so we've got, again, from Florida to Georgia, the Carolinas, and maybe even Virginia. A lot of concern with this big storm. Let's make our way back to the studio with Mike with more.
Reynolds, thank you so much for the report. Really amazing skies that we're seeing there, that's for sure. Our newest advisory has come in, so I want to pass that along to you. The 8 o'clock advisory does not show a whole lot in the way of changes for us here, and so I'm going to show you what that is bringing us now. 110 mile per hour winds, that's the same as previous. 959 millibar pressure here, so again, very similar northwest movement, has not changed at all, and 110 miles east of Cape Canaveral, Florida. I do want to show you what the hurricane hunters, the most recent hurricane hunters, saw in this, because they didn't really measure anything significant. The passes that they made through this, everything was under 100 miles per hour. I'm going to kind of draw along. So what you're seeing on the left-hand side of your screen is the measured wind speed. And what you're seeing on the right-hand side of your screen is the path that the plane took, okay? So initially came in on this side right here, and then came through both the west and east side of the eye wall. Now, when it came through that east eye wall right in there, it measured a wind speed at around 70 plus miles per hour. Then it came back around, came through in this direction, came right directly through the northeast side, and that's when it measured a 94 mile per hour wind. Made another turn around, came right back through that same spot again where it measured the 94 mile per hour wind. Then it measured a 76 mile per hour wind. So the winds that it's seeing right now are significantly below what the current wind speed is in the advisory. The wind speed in the advisory is 110. The highest measured wind they've had has been 94. I suspect maybe in the 11 o'clock advisory, they may bring the wind speed down just a little bit. What are the winds along the coast of Florida right now? Well, you can clearly see the eye. It's 110 miles west of Cape Canaveral right now. Melbourne, 28, gusting to 45 right now. Fort Pierce, 9 gusting to 29, and West Palm and Fort Lauderdale, your winds have backed off quite a bit from earlier today. West Palm right now, your winds are out of the west, going out to sea at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. There's the forecast cone. Hasn't changed a whole lot here in the past 24 hours or so. Still on track to go northwest for about the next day, then a north turn, then a northeast turn, and weakening all along the way here. I think that Wednesday afternoon forecast of 110 may come down just a little bit, and I think that each subsequent forecast period there may come down just a little bit as well. But you can see the South Carolina and North Carolina are still within the cone here, and there's a possibility that you could take a direct hit. Storm surge is something we've been talking an awful lot about with onshore flow in all of these states, Florida, Georgia, South and North Carolina, with the highest amounts likely going to be in the 4 to 7 foot range here, South and North Carolina. Those would be the highest amounts that we see, Alex, and those would be isolated locations. But a place like Charleston, we're surrounded by water. Every single inch matters.
absolutely. We're talking surge, we're talking rain that's going to fall from the sky, and the timing also very much going to come into play because you got to talk about the tide cycles as well. Our team coverage is back at the top of the hour. We have for you Reynolds Wolf in Daytona Beach, Chris Warren in Jacksonville, and Chris Bruin in New Bern, North Carolina. We're also awaiting a press conference from the Prime Minister of the Bahamas.
This was me 6 years ago. And this is me now. I got Liberty Mutual. They customized my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need. Then I won the lottery, got hair plugs, and started working out. And so can you.
Liberty Mutual cannot guarantee weight loss, hair gain, winning the lottery, newfound confidence, or the ability to inspire others. We customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need, which is pretty good. Don't be greedy.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
COPD makes it hard to breathe. So to breathe better, I started with Anoro. COPD tries to say go this way. I say I'll go my own way with Anoro. Once daily Anoro contains 2 medicines called bronchodilators that work together to significantly improve lung function all day and all night. Anoro is not for asthma. It contains a type of medicine that increases risk of death in people with asthma. The risk is unknown in COPD. Anoro won't replace rescue inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be used more than once a day. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition, high blood pressure, glaucoma, prostate, bladder, or urinary problems. These may worsen with Anoro. Call your doctor if you have worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain while taking Anoro.
Ask your doctor about once daily Anoro to start treating your COPD.
Save at Anoro.com.
DiGiorno pizza bakes fresh in your own oven and travels straight to your table. Unlike delivery that goes from oven to box to bag to car to traffic to roundhouses. Nobody delivers a piping hot and crispy crust like a DiGiorno pizza. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Son, I need to tell you something.
What is it, Dad?
There's a 5-cent refund for this bottle in Iowa and Maine.
Thanks a lot, Pop.
Special moments with Dos Equis. Keep it interesante. Across the country, schools are having to cut sports. I'm Tony the Tiger, and I'm on a mission to fix that. Buy a box and help all kids be tigers.
You know that look? That life of the party look. Walk it off look. 1 more mile look. Reply all look. Own your look with fewer lines. There's only one Botox cosmetic. It's the only one FDA approved to temporarily make frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better. The effects of Botox cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Do not receive Botox cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow, eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Tell your doctor about your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. So give that shuts off puppy look, and whatever that look is. Look like you with fewer lines. Own your look with the one and only Botox cosmetic.
Bear presents A Job Well Done. Painting be done and stay done. Bear, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction with interior paints. Right now, get incredible savings on Bear, exclusively at the Home Depot.
Welcome back in to our Weather Channel team coverage. I'm meteorologist Alex Wilson here in Charleston, South Carolina. We've got all aspects of Dorian covered for you up and down the coast. Meteorologist Jackie Jarris is in Jacksonville, Florida. Obviously, Reynolds Wolf braving the elements there in Daytona Beach, Florida. We're going to get to him for an update. Meteorologist Chris Bruin is in New Bern, North Carolina, another community bracing for significant effects from this storm. And Mike Bettis, our meteorologist in the headquarters, has the very latest update from the National Hurricane Center. Mike, the storm has started to move, but now we know that a lot of the U.S. southeast coastline very much in play for this storm.
Absolutely, Alex. We were not taking our eye off where this thing could go. It's a lot weaker than it once was. That's a benefit. But we know it's getting closer and closer to states like Florida, Georgia, and eventually the Carolinas. Our newest advisor that came in here in just the last couple of minutes has not changed the wind intensity at all. We're still a Category 2 hurricane with winds at 110 miles per hour. The most most recent Hurricane Hunter aircraft that have gone in there, the highest winds they measured was 94 miles per hour. So I'm suspecting that maybe in the next advisory that comes out at 11 o'clock, they might bring the winds down a little bit, but it still looks, a fairly decent hurricane on satellite right now, although there may be some dry air intrusion coming in on the west side just a little bit, or maybe even a little bit of land interaction that's affecting the uniformity of the hurricane, if you will. There's a look at what the radar is showing us right now. You can still clearly see an eye there. Melbourne, we've got winds at 24, gusting to 30 right now. Fort Pierce at 21. Solid shield of rain has now worked its way onto the east coast of Florida here. West Palm, we still have gusts at 28 miles per hour. None of these gusts, by the way, are tropical storm force at this point. So I also take that as a good sign that we don't have tropical storm force winds in any of these locations at the moment. But there could be, at any point in time, winds that are 40 miles an hour. Now, I want to show you this because this is water vapor, and this may give you an indication of what's going on with the storm. We've encountered a trough. So what happened is a trough is dug in here, and it's starting to interact with the system. There may be some good outflow here on the north side. See how it's really fanning out like that? That would, I think, allow it to, if that was the only thing happening out there, allow it to maintain its strength, or maybe even strengthen some more. But I think that some of this dry air is now starting to pull into the hurricane a little bit here, and we're starting to get a little bit more open on the west side of the eye there, so you can see the center of circulation on the west side is becoming a little bit more ragged here, so that could be another sign of some weakening here. And then, as it pulls farther north, it's still going to be in Gulf Stream waters here. It's going to be very warm waters, so that's not a hindrance at all. So there are some things that are working to sustain this, but also some things that are working against it. We'll see how it all plays out. But again, I think what you're seeing is that orange is some drier air that might be starting to infiltrate portions of the center here, but it's still a pretty solid hurricane at this point as a Category 2. Wednesday afternoon through Thursday, still maintaining Category 2 strength with this forecast. By Friday, weakening to a Category 1. But you take the center track of that, coming very close to the South and North Carolina coastlines here. And we can't rule out that you couldn't still take a direct hit. The models are hinting that it may just hug the South Carolina coast and then scrape the North Carolina coast. Here's a look at the European model, and just about all the models are doing the exact same thing. So I'll show you this one, very close to the Florida coast, but stays off. And then Georgia stays off of us and then makes the turn. But it will, we think, come very, very close to a place like Wrightsville Beach or Wilmington, or a place like Morehead City and up toward Hatteras. As much as 4 to 7 feet is the highest surge forecast right now through the Carolinas. 3 to 5, Georgia down toward Florida, and maybe another 2 to 4 in a place like Daytona Beach. That's where our Reynolds Wolf is tonight. Reynolds, how much of an issue is water rise going to be there, and how long do you think that these beaches can take the pounding? Because I think in so many instances, beach erosion is going to be tremendous.
Absolutely, you would definitely think so, especially when you have high tide that happens tonight. The storm surge, they could be anywhere from, say, 3 to maybe 5 to 6 feet. In terms of rainfall, Mike, to answer that question, it looks like it's going to be anywhere from, say, 3 to 5, but you may have some heavier amounts, which is really the reason why we had the mandatory evacuation back on Monday. And I have to tell you that most people, it appears, heeded that warning. One thing that we've been getting is over the last bit of let's say last 5 minutes or so, is we had one feeder band that came through, blasted with wind and rain, and that's going to be kind of the rhythm. All these tropical systems are different from one another. There are no two that are identical, but they do have similar patterns. And when you have those feeder bands come through, they bring in with it the heavy rainfall. Of course, they bring in along the coast. They can actually pop up, obviously, with the surge. But something else they can often do is spin up tornadoes. Okay, let me give some good news and bad news. Okay, good news that the tornadoes that do form on landfalling, or when you have a tropical system that is in close proximity, they aren't as strong as the ones we often see out in the northern plains. That's some of the good news. The bad news is they're rain-wrapped, they're very hard to see, and they can still cause quite a bit of damage and loss of life. So you've got to be careful, folks. We're still to take this very seriously. The yes, it is good if the system remains offshore. However, remember, this is not one straight linear shot. This is a massive system, very, very widespread. So even though the center of circulation goes off towards the horizon, rumbles its way to the north, we are still going to be affected right here in this community. They're doing the best they can. They've battened everything up. Windows have been protected. Sandbags are out too. And now they're just waiting for the onslaught, which should be at its roughest, its highest intensity later on into the evening hours, and then into the morning. We can still have certainly some rough times here in Daytona Beach. Now, this this system, as we mentioned, has some legs to it. It's going to continue to do the opposite of what it did in the Bahamas, where it just stayed just motionless almost, just staying stationary, bringing and punishing certainly that part of the world. But you know what? Now it's going to make its way farther north, past Daytona, eventually going up towards Jacksonville. Jacksonville is where we find Jackie Jarris. And Jackie, the biggest thing I'm worried about when it comes to Jacksonville is the potential, which may become a reality, of widespread flooding.
Absolutely, and I know you were here during Hurricane Irma, which is the record that's held here along the St. Johns River for storm surge and those high levels, and the water just inundated this entire Riverwalk area. We're going to talk about the surge in just a minute, but I want to break some new information just in from Mayor Lenny Curry about the wind conditions and what he's expecting for tonight. He's asking everyone now that this is not the time to drive around any longer, that you should be in the place where you're going to be spending the night tonight, as they expect the main bridge here over Jacksonville to be shut down at some time later on tonight. Now, they don't have an exact time for that. It all just depends on what the winds are going to be doing. Those winds have to be sustained at 40 miles per hour, and that's the time when they're going to be shutting that bridge down. Now, let's talk about the storm surge, because the river here, the St. Johns River, has already been running very high because of the king tides. In fact, earlier today during high tide around 2:30, the level came precariously close to the edge, to the topping of this, within about a foot. So we're concerned that once that surge comes in with Dorian, as we head through the day tomorrow, that this whole area is going to be taking on water, and that would be affecting some of the businesses down the line. Now, some folks say, even though we're in evacuation zone, they're going to stay put, and they're planning on riding out this storm. If you look over my shoulder here, you can see a marina over towards the side, and there are two different people that live in those yachts and those boats, and they say they've been here before, they've been through storms, and they're going to go ahead and stay put for tonight. So we are concerned about their safety and, of course, of everybody else here. Now, conditions should be going downhill overnight tonight. We're expecting the worst of the storm to be arriving probably sometime between 11 and 6 o'clock tomorrow. And, Mike, of course, that's very concerning, because at that closest approach is also when high tide is expected to be around 3:30 tomorrow.
It's not a very fast-moving storm either. We've only got forward speed at 6 miles per hour, and at some point, maybe just off the coast there of Jacksonville, it's going to make a pivot. So it might briefly slow down there, too, which would maximize the onshore flow there in a place like Jacksonville Beach and water up the St. Johns River there in Jacksonville. 110 miles per hour is the current advisory wind speed on Hurricane Dorian. That makes it Category 2, northwest movement at 6 miles per hour, and 110 miles east of Cape Canaveral, Florida. So 110 miles east of NASA for us this evening. You can see on the infrared imagery here, there is a little bit more raggedness to it than there once was, but the forecast track has maintained. It's barely changed the last 36 hours or so, with that gradual movement paralleling the coast and then quickly off to the Canadian Maritimes here. Wouldn't even rule out a potential landfall in Nova Scotia, but the winds decreasing. So what are my odds of getting tropical storm force winds? Well, if you look at this map near the coastline here, especially along I-95 or east of I-95, you've got roughly a 90% chance here of getting tropical storm force winds. Then
this one's much easier to handle.
High tide maximize the flow there, so beach erosion will be an issue, coastal flooding will be an issue, and then any inlet flooding could be a problem as well. Hurricane storm surge warnings go all the way up through Wilmington and Wrightsville Beach here. We don't have them up here in this portion of North Carolina, including Morehead City, up through the Outer Banks, because the timing's not there yet, because it's not expected to be there for more than 48 hours, and you would get the warning issued within expected conditions of 48 hours. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of timing, but I do think that probably storm surge warnings will be issued in those locations as well. All right, we've got worries for the water coming from the ocean, but worries for water coming from the actual hurricane For a place like Daytona Beach, you just watched Reynolds Wolf get inundated with some really heavy rain there. Another 5 inches of rain is possible through tomorrow. Then up 95 toward Palm Coast, towards St. Augustine, Jacksonville, 6 to 7 inches of rain, especially right near the coastline there. That extending up through coastal Georgia as well. Take you up towards Savannah. Now, we may have a closer approach of the eye here, so a little bit more intense rain is possible. Savannah, 10 to 11 inches in this forecast. Charleston, we could be looking at roughly a foot of rain there, extending it up toward Myrtle Beach. Double-digit rain is not out of the realm of possibility here, so flooding is going to be a huge concern for us, not only from the surge that comes in and the water rise there, but also from the rainfall here. We do not handle rain very well in Charleston, that's for sure, so certainly a very concerning forecast. That forecast goes through Friday. Well, we're getting more eyewitness accounts. They continue to come in out of the Bahamas, and earlier today we spoke with Chris Roach. He's an Atlanta native who went to secure his family's villa in Treasure Key in the Bahamas and then had to ride out the storm.
No, just minor scratches and bumps and bruises, nothing major. We actually, I'm a former Coast Guard officer and trying to help coordinate efforts here in the area, and very fortunate we only have 4 injuries right now that are being attended to. We have a physician. He's asking for more supplies for other things, but we're very, very surprised and happily surprised that there's very few major injuries, although, to be honest with you, the weather is just now starting to get to the point where we can venture out and around, and we haven't gotten to all the different areas to see, how everyone fared. But the majority of reports coming in is most everyone is okay, except for we had 1 local fatality and 4 injuries, and we had heard that there were 5 total fatalities over the whole island. But again, these communities are very small and they're very far apart and sparsely scattered, so the reports are going to come in slower than we're probably used to hearing in a storm in the state.
Yeah, just absolutely incredible stuff. It's just heart-wrenching to see. And as he mentioned, infrastructure is so compromised that information is slow to come out of the Bahamas, even though our proximity to the Bahamas is so close here in the United States. I want to take you back to Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's when the western eye wall of the hurricane was just now coming to the Abaco Islands here. And then notice just how slowly this thing moved. It just crept along here and then stalled over Grand Bahama Island. It wasn't until this afternoon, earlier today, I should say, that the eye finally exited the Bahamas. We stayed in that eye for approximately 40 hours. It's unprecedented. Winds ranged from 185 miles per hour at their peak there in the Abaco Islands, decreasing to 120 miles per hour once it came off of Grand Bahama Island earlier today. We have some incredible before and after pictures to show you as well. This is Elbow Key. This is one of the places that took a direct hit, the first place to take a direct hit. And you can see how a lot of the docks have been compromised here. Some of the homes have sustained complete damage or second-story damage from the winds there. A lot of the trees have all been either uprooted or snapped off here. And look how little there is between one side of the island and the other. 100 yards, 150 yards maybe. Those are the before pictures. These are the after pictures again. We got some of the docks that are compromised, roof that's compromised here. This is a well-built structure here, this one too. These are likely made out of concrete. It's got a metal roof on it. These are designed for water to flow through the first floor. Then all the inhabitable floors are above that. So it's meant to take on storm surge, but those are constructed very, very well. Here's another angle, just tilted a little bit for you here. That was that same house that we were just talking about that's well built. Another one down here, well built. It has sustained some roof damage there, but look at this one. Annihilated. Absolutely annihilated. So probably built significantly weaker, probably a wood frame home there. How about these images of the coastline here? The surge. It's so obvious where the surge came in and pushed things in. There's I believe a boat right in there. But look at this home. Top floor is missing. This home well constructed. These homes here well constructed, likely all made out of concrete with very secure roofs. But the surge was just incredible here, and the tree damage is immense. But I think we're going to get a lot more images out of the Bahamas, Alex, but what we're seeing so far has been truly in complete devastation in some instances.
And unfortunately, when we looked at the satellite images and knew what was going on underneath that storm, the power of it, not necessarily surprising, but still heartbreaking. We've got team coverage. Hurricane Dorian continuing after this.
interesting is all about setting the right tone. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Corona Premier.
I know people love the dish remote. It's great. So why build in the Google Assistant? I mean, who really needs a TV remote that can turn the thermostat up,
Change temperature to 70.
the lights down,
Dim the lights.
and still access their DVR?
Play video.
Actually, some people could absolutely use a remote like that. The new Dish Voice Remote. Dish, tuned in to you.
You know curb appeal when you see it. And with the Home Depot and the best brands around, you can start seeing it. Today is the day for doing with the best brands in paint. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
To be their best, kids need good nutrition and practice. Lots of practice. Get them started right with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. It has protein plus vitamins and minerals to help kids be their best. Carnation Breakfast Essentials.
Here's your Buick, sir. Actually, that's my Buick.
Your Buick doesn't have a roof rack. This is my Buick. How are we going to fit in your mom's Buick?
Easy.
I like that new Buick.
Me too.
I was actually talking about that Buick.
I knew that.
Buick's fresh new lineup is full of surprises. Kick off football season with Buick. Current eligible non-GM owners get 13 to 20% below MSRP on most of these Buick models.
So, Kim, you going for a big Drive Safe and Save discount?
Yep, using the app, I've been quite vigilant.
Sharon says step on it. The meeting started.
Okay, write her back. Dear Sharon, don't mess with my discount.
Faster, Mommy, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I do too, honey, but we're going to hold it for Mommy's discount. Easy.
But you're in labor.
Don't mess with my discount!
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save from State Farm.
Oh, Eric, I didn't know you were with the UPS store.
Yeah, we printed that sign.
I thought you just did shipping.
Oh, no, we do printing, packing, notarizing, faxing, shredding, mailboxing, taping, laminating, consulting, grading, designing, returning, and, of course, shipping.
I can't feel my legs. I should really get him home.
From printing to packing to mailboxing, go to the UPS store for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping.
What will you do when the power goes out? Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life. But with a Generac home standby generator, your life goes on uninterrupted because you'll have power when you need it the most.
24 days we were without power. I had water, I had ice, I had coffee, I had air conditioner. I was able to stay here because of Generac.
Get the safety, security, and peace of mind your family deserves with a home standby generator from Generac. 8 out of 10 home generators are Generac with thousands of satisfied customers.
Very good product. Very, very good reviews from everybody.
Prices start at just $19.99, and special financing is available with surprisingly affordable monthly payments. Call now to schedule your free in-home assessment. And if you act now, receive a free 1200-watt inverter generator or a 40-volt cordless blower up to a $500 value. Call or go online today. Power your life with Generac.
This is epic!
You're watching America's most trusted TV news network.
We've got a severe weather threat.
We are live on the ground. Right now it's coming down.
The Weather Channel.
Well, here in Charleston, South Carolina, we just spoke with Mayor John Tecklenburg. We're going to give you some of his words in a moment, but he basically said the window of preparation is just about closed for people here in Charleston. They are going to be giving out sandbags here in the city tomorrow, 8 a.m. until noon, and after that, they really want people to be done with the preps. Here on King Street, normally a bustling spot during the afternoon and the evening, very few people out and about because the businesses are boarded up, restaurants and bars are closed, and so it really doesn't give anybody a place to go, which is good because they don't want people to be tempted to be out there and instead stay in their spot. A lot of the businesses have signs up saying closed Wednesday, closed Thursday, hope to be back open on Friday, but obviously that remains to be seen given how much of an effect we will see here in Charleston from Hurricane Dorian. Same goes down the way. They'll see the effects a little bit sooner in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where we find meteorologist Chris Warren this evening. Chris Bruin in New Bern, North Carolina. Chris, you're going to see the effects a little later than us, but not much because this storm's actually going to get moving.
Yeah, for sure. This is not going to be a repeat of Florence where it stalled out off the Carolina coast, and for New Bern, that's a huge blessing. However, we are going to have impacts today. Business as usual. We had school in session after Labor Day. No long lines, no shortage of supplies at the store, so that's good news. The weather's been tranquil and actually very sunny here and smooth traffic. So for people evacuating, that's great to hear across all the major thoroughfares here in eastern North Carolina. I do want to bring in Stanley Kite. He is the director of Craven County Emergency Services. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We still have plenty of time to get everything prepared. But, New Bern has a unique position when it comes to Dorian compared to other cities down the coast where we were just recently impacted majorly by Hurricane Florence. What are your biggest concerns going forward?
Well, it still has the potential to impact areas.
Certainly, and keep in mind, we're not right on the coast either. We're off the sound, so it's not.
Plans and personal preparation made in place to evacuate. Therefore, we've got voluntary evacuation requests going. With what we do from there, but we're hoping we get a good response for those people that are living in harm's way to evacuate. Storm surge is our biggest problem so far with what we're seeing with this. We know we're going to have the nuisance of down trees and power lines. That's with all tropical systems, but our biggest threat to loss of life is storm surge and inland flooding.
And, as far as timing goes, let's say at
6 miles per hour. That northwest turn has finally happened for us today, and it's finally exited the Bahamas after spending roughly 40 hours over the island chain there. Forecast track has been pretty straightforward here the last couple of days, and not much has changed in this forecast track either, coming very close to South and North Carolina coastlines here. For those of you along the east coast of Florida, you've been feeling the winds picking up today, and you've got about a 90% odds here of tropical storm force winds through the remainder of this event, and then about 70 to 80% odds as you get just to the west of I-95. Hurricane warnings still remain in effect here, although we have yet to see any hurricane force winds reported today. Hurricane watch is there along the Georgia coastline, but that's when the turn starts to happen, so I think that we're going to be probably far enough away this is going to be more tropical storm force than it's going to be hurricane force. Storm surge warning still there because as the storm moves its way northwest here, parallel on the coast, it's an onshore flow and the water is going to come up. Storm surge warnings extend all the way toward Wilmington here, then storm surge watches north of there. How much rain? Plenty. Another 5 inches for us in the Daytona Beach area, about another half foot coming our way, maybe a little bit more in Jacksonville. We're back right after this, our continuing coverage of Dorian right here on the Weather Channel.
I can't express how much I appreciate every single thing that St. Jude has done. You never know when you could be that determining factor to save the next child's life. 1,000,000 thank yous wouldn't be enough.
To be their best, kids need good nutrition and practice. Lots of practice. Get them started right with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. It has protein plus vitamins and minerals to help kids be their best. Carnation Breakfast Essentials.
Bear presents A Job Well Done. Painting be done and stay done. Bear, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction with interior paints. Right now, get incredible savings on Bear, exclusively at the Home Depot.
Work's more fulfilling. Carpool's more fun. Snack time tastes fresher. Glad I brought more than one.
Take the feeling with you. Sabra Snackers. Feel good food.
I just had Sabra hummus and now I feel good.
Humera patients, you inspire us. The way you triumph over adversity and live your lives. That's why we redesigned Humera. We wanted to make the experience better for you. Now there's less pain immediately following injection. We've reduced the size of the needle and removed the citrate buffers. And it has the same effectiveness you know and trust. Humera Citrate Free is here. A little change can make a big difference.
Humera can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humera if you have an infection.
Ask your doctor about Humera Citrate Free. Here's to you.
Lowe's knows you're the type who does it right, who knows a hobby can also be an investment. We do it right too, with a lifetime warranty on Craftsman, so you can count on passing it down. Save $90 on a Craftsman mechanics tool set. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
3 out of 4 people think this much horsepower is excessive. 3 out of 4 people are wrong. If we were for everyone, we'd be for no one.
What's better than one night of Olive Garden? How about 2? All new $5 take-home entrees. Enjoy any meal here, then take home an all-time favorite like fettuccine Alfredo for just $5 more. Hurry in for $5 take-home entrees. Only at Olive Garden.
This is not just a headache. This is not just a fever. This is not just the flu. It's meningitis B, and you're not there to help. While meningitis B is uncommon, once symptoms appear, they can progress quickly and can be fatal, sometimes within 24 hours. Before you send your teen to college, make sure you help protect them. Talk to your teen's doctor about meningitis B vaccination.
Great riches will find you when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Wow, thanks, Zoltar. How can I ever repay you?
Maybe you could free Zoltar? Thanks, lady. Taxi! Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
to our continuing coverage here of Hurricane Dorian. The Prime Minister of Bahamas, Dr. Hubert Minnis, speaking right now. Let's listen in.
Good evening, my parliamentary colleagues, fellow Bahamians and residents, ladies and gentlemen. Along with a delegation which included the leader of the opposition and a number of officials, including Director of NEMA, Captain Stephen Russell, I just returned from an initial assessment and reconnaissance mission to Abaco, provided by the United States of America. As soon as we are given the all clear by the of Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama has made a call for volunteer rescuers who have assets that can aid in rescue. Let me emphasize that after our initial assessment, more detailed assessment will be made by a variety of teams from various agencies. Let me talk about our initial assessment of Abaco. 5 deaths are maybe additional deaths that we can expect. Of the 25 individuals that were transported to New Providence, 2 has already succumbed. That would take the number of deaths to 7. And again, I want to assure and inform the Bahamian population that we can expect more deaths to be recorded. This is just preliminary information. Let us as a people have compassion for the families of those who lost their lives. Let us pray for them. Please, do not make the grief process worse for families by spreading pictures. Parts of Abaco are decimated. There's severe flooding. There's severe damage to homes, businesses, other buildings, and infrastructure. To give you a clearer picture of what was seen while traveling this afternoon, the southern aspect of Abaco has suffered less devastation than the north. The Sandyport area and progressing north has not suffered as much devastation as was seen. The national airport in Abaco is completely flooded, and in fact the area around the airport now looks like a lake. Marsh Harbor has suffered, I would estimate, in excess of 60% damage to the homes. The mud, as we know, has been completely destroyed or decimated. Progressing further north, the Treasure Key Airport, the runway is still functioning, is flooded and underwater. Cooperstown has suffered some degree of damage, but not nearly as much as is seen in Marsh Harbor. A community just before Cooperstown, but outside of Treasure Key, is cut off from the main population, and in fact, there were at least about 30 individuals who were trapped in this community and were waving yellow flags. 30 individuals who were trapped in this community and were waving yellow flags, sheets, shirts to bring our attention to their survival. The flight engineers had sent the necessary information to a helicopter that was on the ground in the Marsh Harbor area, and I can say to those 30 individuals that the helicopter was dispatched before we had left the area to rescue those 30 individuals who were stranded because of the flooding. Our priority at this time is search, rescue, and recovery. I just want to thank all of those first responders who are acting with courage to save lives and to rescue those in need. We are seeing the courage of Bahamian volunteers who are coming to the rescue of others using whatever resources they have available at their hand. We are seeing the bravery and fortitude of Bahamians who endured hours and days of horror, fearing for their lives and the lives of their loved ones. Our urgent task will be to provide food, water, shelter, safety, and in Abaco, that the Royal Navy, Royal Navy vessel, will be delivering food to those residents in Abaco in a matter of hours tonight. An additional food will be provided by NEMA tomorrow to the residents of Abaco. Planning is underway, and well-resourced rescue teams are waiting for safe conditions to carry more food, water, and necessary health supplies to residents there. There is an outpouring of support for those devastated by Hurricane Dorian. NEMA is the Central Agency for Disaster Relief and Recovery Efforts. I ask all those who want to assist with relief supplies to coordinate with NEMA. This is vital to ensure that relief supplies and aid are delivered as effectively as possible. And to ensure that these supplies get to those most in need in a timely fashion. Bahamians wishing to donate money, food, water, clothes, or other material should contact the Bahamas Red Cross, NEMA, and the number of to help secure Abaco. More police
and you have been listening to Dr. Hubert Minnis, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, get an update on the conditions there, confirming 7 fatalities on the Abaco Islands there, and the total death toll now from Dorian across all locations that have been affected now stands at 11, including 3 in the United States. Also mentioning that their greatest need right now is for humanitarian relief, saying that there was one island there, Treasure Key, that had been cut off from the rest of the islands there. About 30 people trapped there. They have sent helicopter rescue. In some places, total devastation from wind and storm surge, unfortunately. But it's going to take a long time for some of these islands to recover, unfortunately. It's been mostly confined to the northern Bahamas. If you're familiar with Grand Bahama Island, it's the largest northernmost island that sat in the eye for quite some time. Nassau, which down where the capital is in New Providence Island there, fared very well, actually. And that's where the press conference was coming from. They still have power there. They were a good distance away from the eye, so Nassau has actually fared quite well. But some of the images that we're getting, these are from the Abaco Islands right here. Some of these places may never recover. That area that you're seeing right there was actually a shanty town, mostly Haitian refugees that lived there, and they took a direct hit from the surge, and just a devastating blow to that community as they sat in that eye over the Bahamas for approximately 40 hours. Just unprecedented. Well, let's take you back out to our crews that are in the field now and covering the storm for you and its close approach here to Florida, including meteorologist Jackie Jarrett. She's in Jacksonville for us tonight. It's just an interesting lay of the land there in Jacksonville for people that may not be familiar. Jackie, there's a beach out there, but there's also a big river that comes through town, which is a very big concern for the city itself.
Yeah, that's probably our biggest concern here. We will see tropical storm force wind gusts for sure, if not sustained, and that's also an issue, but it's really the water that we're most concerned about. We are about 15 miles inland, and we've had a lot of beach erosion and damage already south of Jacksonville Beach in particular, but it's the St. John's that you can see behind me. Really a beautiful view here for tonight. You can see the Main Street Bridge here, all lit up in blue, and the mayor giving word to folks that this bridge may very well shut down tonight as our winds are increasing. It has to be 40 miles per hour sustained in order to shut down that bridge. So the mayor is asking people to be in place now. He says now is go time. Now is where you need to be in order to ride out the storm, because conditions are going to be very different come this time tomorrow morning. So let's talk a little bit about the St. John's River, which has already been running very high. At high tide earlier this afternoon, it was already within less than a foot of the very top of this boardwalk, which we're expected to be covered in water sometime for tomorrow. So the St. John's River actually flows from south to north and then west to east right behind me, and then flows out into the Atlantic. But those winds are coming in from the opposite direction, trying to push that water back and rising that back up. Right now we're expecting storm surge to be about 1, and that's going to be enough to bring some water into some of the big threat tomorrow in the afternoon hours. Unfortunately, Mike, we think that big push of water is going to be coming in about the same time as high tide.
And with heavy rain that has been coming in, for our viewers at home, you might be able to see it moving diagonally across the screen. that can spell trouble for a lot of them. Down the shoreline, with all hotels, many of these are empty. Thank heavens, people heating. Wind, heavy rain, and of course, at the same time, with pressure, the wind both piling up the water, you can have the surge that can come through. Sledgehammer. Jarrett and Chris, and we were not even. So things do deteriorate quickly. I know we followed it. Guard down. Do not fall into a sense of complacency. South Florida, you're in pretty good shape. Central Florida.